Wommack make his opening statement, then we'll go ahead and take questions. Whenever you're ready, Coach.
Okay, had really two good weeks here in preparation or in the second week of preparation. Coming off the first round of the playoffs, it's been great for our guys. I think we've been in a position to where we've probably been as healthy as we have been in a number of weeks. You got some of the early enrollees out here, so that's always nice with these new freshmen coming in here. Kind of like Christmas morning, right, for a coach, right, to get to play with all the new toys you recruited, and those guys have got a great demeanor and bringing some energy out there to practice, and our older guys are doing a great job of continuing to build the legacy of how we do things and play in the standard of Alabama's defense. I think obviously we got a great opponent in Indiana coming up. I had some really great times there and had some special moments and some great memories of my time in Bloomington. Kalen and I met each other there and coached together as coordinators, and so some really great memories in that position. And I think the world of Coach Signetti and his staff. They've done a really tremendous job. Their administration has done a phenomenal job. Scott Dolson, their athletic director, of just everybody pulling the rope in the same direction. And it's awesome to see what they have done with their program in 2 years. Offensively, I think they are highly efficient, very explosive. That starts with their quarterback. He knows where to go with the ball. He's very decisive, makes great decisions with the ball. And can make all the throws and can make the explosive plays when it matters most. They're very disciplined, very detailed, probably as disciplined and as detailed as an offense as we have faced. I think their physicality shows up on tape. They play the game physical from an offensive line standpoint. Their tight ends and blocking, their run game. I think they do a great job of if you'll give them 4 yards in a cloud of dust, they'll take it all day long. And they've got great RPO answers matched off of their run game as well. But I think the thing that stands out probably as much as anything is they make plays when it matters most, and they have made the plays to put them in position to be undefeated to this point in the season. So it's a great challenge, one that we are very much looking forward to. Awesome and honored to be playing and representing this football team in the Rose Bowl. And certainly more work ahead, but excited for the task at hand.
All right, thank you, Coach. Let's start with Charlie on the far right side.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about being healthy, and we saw LT back on the field today too. Just how big of a boost is that going into a game against or an offense like this?
Yeah, I think that's an awesome blessing. Just for LT, it's awesome for us. For him, he obviously needs to have another good couple of days here, but is certainly on track. And to have him in this game, his experience, certainly his excitement of wanting to get back out on the field and go compete with his teammates. I mean, he's an ultimate competitor. He's done a really good job of staying in shape, which was one of the things that we wanted to make sure that if the opportunity was to come back, that he would be in great shape, and he looks great right now. So very excited for him, very excited for us. And when you have a difference maker like that off the edge, it certainly changes your defense.
Let's go to Chase on the front left.
I want to ask you about your dad's presence on the sideline this season. Just what has he brought to you in terms of being a sounding board or whatever his role has been?
Well, he created this defense, right? So he's the originator of what we do defensively in our scheme. And so, he's got 38 years of experience tied into what we do, and not just the defensive scheme portion, but probably what he does such a great job of is just keeping, when we talk, just keeping me focused on the main thing, our fundamentals as a defense. The offensive opponent, who are they trying to get the ball to? What is the focus of their team? So, like, we get done with a game, we play South Carolina on the road, and as soon as the game is over, by the time I get on the bus, he's got his notes on 8 games, 10 games, whatever it is of the next opponent. And so it just allows me to one step ahead with somebody that knows me, knows this defense, understands the bigger picture, and it really just kind of clarifies and crystallizes what I'm thinking about from a game plan standpoint from 1 week to the next. And then he watches every practice. He's got his iPad there in Oxford, Mississippi, and he'll have thoughts and notes and stuff from what we're doing in practice, and And so usually when you have somebody like that, it crystallizes the mission, right? It keeps the main thing, and it never keeps us too far off that North Star of what we need to do fundamentally and who we need to defend week to week.
Let's go to Emily Grace next.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned that discipline of Indiana. How important is it to be disruptive against that offense who's been pretty insulated from really getting off schedule this entire season? And also, is there any plan for the rain? We see on the forecast that it's getting a little bit more stormy there in Pasadena.
Yeah. Well, you certainly, you want to be disruptive on defense in general, and we have those elements to what we do. But there has been a recipe of how we operate and what we do defensively. And so execution has been really the critical component of what we do. And really, against these guys, right, that comes at a premium. They are very disciplined. They are detailed. We've got to be, we got to beat them at their own game in terms of what they're doing fundamentally. So execution comes at a premium. Playing with great fundamentals comes at a premium. We certainly will have answers. Just like we did in the Oklahoma game, we had to make some real adjustments. But ultimately, we have to do what we do well that's got us to this point, and then be ready to answer and adjust based off of what we're getting in the game.
Let's go to Joe in the middle of the room.
Coach, Indiana only has eight turnovers this season. What do they do so well to protect the football, and what do you see opportunities for your defense in this game to create takeaways?
Yeah, there's always opportunities to create takeaways. Good, nice job on that. I saw you were very proud of yourself for using the word takeaways. I think when you look at them, they're very disciplined. They're very detailed. It's the reason why they're one of the top teams in the country in turnover margin. It's the reason why they're one of the top teams in the country in penalties. They're very disciplined and detailed about what they do. I think we're as good as anybody in the country at attempting to take the ball off of people. It doesn't mean that we always get it, but we are going to attempt to take it off. And so, it will be a great challenge for us, but we will also be a great challenge for them. And one that, I think really when you start looking at the markers of the game, the turnover margin will be a huge indicator to who wins that game. And I know that you could point to that in a lot of different scenarios, but explosive plays and turnover margin, I think, will define the outcome of this football game.
We got a couple more from the left side. Let's go to Hunter first, then we'll go to Will.
Hey, Coach, when Xavier Brown arrived on campus and you saw him practice for the first time, was there an expectation level that he could become one of the top corners in the game?
100%. And sometimes, right, there's a process of development for all players. But I think Xavier is as pro-ready as I have ever seen a freshman, walking in the door. He just operates like an absolute professional in everything he does. He's very matter-of-fact about his business. Whether it's success or adversity, he stays focused on the next play. He takes great mental reps from something that maybe he didn't do good enough as a freshman. One of the most impressive things I remember from that first spring is he would get something fixed immediately, and then he could sustain that correction through the remainder of spring ball. And now all he's done is just he's added 24 months, right, of work on top of that. And so it's amazing to me, right, the guys that are the most disciplined, the most detailed, the most professional about what they do tend to be the ones that make the biggest plays in the biggest moments. And that dude has had, he's probably had more career-changing plays. And, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and say we've had some phenomenal players that have come through these halls, but what, some pretty special moments that he's already created for this football team.
Next, on the far left.
Coach, there's a good amount of talk around Indiana that surrounds Fernando Mendoza and what he's able to do, but he's not the only player on that offense that's good. Who else has stood out to you as you prepare for this game?
Well, as there should be. There's a reason why he won the Heisman Trophy. He is a fantastic player. The offense goes with him, right? He's the leader of that offense, and he's the reason why they're able to do the things that they do and be efficient. But they have on the flip side, they have a very good run game. They have a very good detailed RPO scheme and answers in their run game. And so they'll do a great job of they can bleed you down the field if you'll allow them to do that. And so we got to do a great job of playing with vision and rallying to the ball and driving on those short throws so that we don't allow them to create more things down the field. But when you look at them, they're receivers, they block, they compete their tail off for the ball when it's in the air, that you can tell they've got great chemistry between their quarterback and he puts the ball out there and he does a great job of putting the ball out. But, some of those plays, those receivers just went and got it. Now, he gave them a chance to do it, but they got to finish and come down with the ball. So he's got super competitive receiving core, including their tight end. But they have a very trusted run game that has showed up for them just about in every single game. They haven't blown the doors off in every single game rushing the football, but they're very efficient in what they do, and they stay on schedule because of it.
Okay, let's go to Blake next on the front row on the right.
You mentioned the early enrollees. Just what has your initial impression been of those guys over the last couple of days?
Well, like most of the freshmen that come through here, they're swimming a little bit, and especially when you're going through this time, we're a well-oiled machine and how we operate. Those guys mainly are, they're doing individual work with us. You can see our older guys teaching them drills. These are drills that we've been doing for, as a defense now, we've been doing it for almost 24 months, right? Some of these guys, they walk in the door, but it's awesome to see a standard be laid and a foundation be laid, and these older guys are now setting the expectation of how we do what we do here. And then, from a scout team standpoint, it's a little bit of juice and shot in the arm, right? For our scout teams, you get, guys with some fresh legs and bodies, and they're excited to go to work out there. They don't always go the right way right now because they're learning, how we operate as scout teams, and that's a well-oiled machine as well. There's a lot that goes into the scout team work, but certainly exciting to have those guys out there with us right now.
Let's go to Johnny next, back right.
Hey, Kane, from talking to you throughout the seasons and being a coach's son, you got an appreciation for the history of this game, and you're going to be competing on one of the grandest stages in all of sports. I'm interested the tightrope of trying to stay focused while at the same time, for lack of a better term, stopping to smell the roses and kind of appreciate where you're going to be coaching next week.
Yeah, that's great. I was actually talking with Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler about that. They were talking about how special this game is and how much they enjoy being a part of it. This would be a bucket list opportunity for me. I mean, I've been in between my dad's career, my playing career, coaching career. I've been a part of the Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Peach. I mean, I think this will be my 26th bowl game that I've been a part of, but I've never been a part of the Rose Bowl. So this is an awesome opportunity, one that I will take a moment at some point to appreciate, enjoy, and then I'll lock right back into the work and the task at hand. I would imagine Rose Bowls are much more memorable when you win the game. So we'll make sure that we do that. But it's awesome. I mean, our sport is built upon moments and bowl games like the Rose Bowl. And so this one is the granddaddy of them all for a reason, and we're excited to be a part of it.
All right, we have time for two more questions. Those will come from the Zoom. We'll start with Katie Wyndham first. Go ahead, Katie.
Yeah, hey, Kane. Two questions if I can. First, Xavier, Bray, and Keon are the only guys on defense with over 700 snaps this season, and I'm sure part of that lends to their position. But just what has made them so reliable and trustworthy that you have them back there that much? And then second question is, and it's okay if you don't want to answer this, but what do you keep in your little fanny pack or pouch during games that's part of the game day outfit?
Well, so I think the first thing with Bray and Keon, those guys, you typically don't rotate quite as much with the safety position. Those guys are making all the calls, all the communications, and they do a really tremendous job of just being in the right place at the right time. They're the last line of defense, and so guys that are very trusted and proven get to play in that position. And it's been awesome to watch both of those guys grow and develop into the position that they have. I mean, Bray Hubbard wasn't playing for us at the beginning of the 2024 season from a defensive perspective. Now, arguably, I mean, I would argue he's as good as any safety in the country right now. Keon Sabb has built himself in position to be as good as any safety in the country right now. As a tandem and a duo, I think they're playing at a really high level. one that I think, they have a mindset to take the ball away. They do a great job of communicating on the back end. And I think a lot of what we have done well as an execution as a defense is just, doing our job and making sure that we're not, giving the offense any easy opportunities. And a large part of that is just being in the right place at the right time. And those guys get us in the right place at the right time. There is no fanny pack. I almost, it's like a power, it's got all my power pack stuff on the back. So there's no like pouch or anything for me to put my lip balms and, you know what I mean, and my essential oils or whatever. I don't do anything like that. So I got, they put like, but it's got like my radio that I talk to the guys, and then the communication piece up top. They strap it on the back. And then up top, we call it the easy button, the communication on field to the to Deontay Lawson or whoever's Justin Jefferson at times has that. So that's when I have to press that button to be able to communicate to those guys. So didn't know that people thought that I was carrying snacks out there on the field to a game.
Let's finish up with Colin Gay on the Zoom.
Hey, Kane, you already mentioned a little bit about Fernando Mendoza. Are you guys using, I guess, his Heisman Trophy as kind of a rallying cry of wanting to, shut him down? Is that fuel for the guys to be like, we want to stop the Heisman Trophy winner? What does that look like?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I want to stop quarterbacks whether they've won the Heisman Trophy or not. But I certainly, if they've won the Heisman, it's a tremendous challenge for us. I mean, he is, he's operating at a really high level. He's executing at a really high level. And so when you watch the tape and the challenge, really the rally cry for our guys is you're going to have to operate at a really consistent level, and you're going to have to take away those windows that he's wanting to get the ball to. That means that, it's not just the coverage, right? We have to be able to rush. We've got to be able to affect the quarterback some. And then ultimately, we've got to be able to finish on the ball against a receiving core that in my mind has competed for the football at the top of routes all season long, and they tend to step up in big moments. And so this will be a big moment for us. It'll be a great opportunity, one that, if there's anything that this team has been, it's battle tested. And so we're excited for just another challenge at hand.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys. Roll Tide.
question for Tim, just raise your hand, we'll get a mic over to you. Let's start with Joe, right in the middle of the room.
Tim, Indiana's offense has only given up 8 turnovers this season. What do you see when you put them on tape, and what do you think about your team's opportunities to take the football away from them?
Yeah, Indiana, they're a very, very efficient and disciplined team. They make, really few to no mistakes. So we got to make sure, we hone in on our keys, and when the opportunity is there, we try to take the ball away.
Go to the far right to Charlie.
Sticking with their offense, what sticks out about their quarterback, and do you guys relish the opportunity to face the Heisman Trophy winner?
Yeah, I mean, he a man just like me, of course, but he's a great Heisman winner. He didn't put himself in position to achieve that accolade. So we're going to make sure we do what we need to do, play our game, and go in. And like I said, they're a very efficient offense. So we just got to make sure we do what we need to do.
Got a question from the way back. Trevor, go ahead.
We saw LT Overton back out there today. What kind of boost does that give this defense having him back?
Great boost. I'm happy to see my boy Tutu back out there. And that's just a testament to God that sometimes you may want him to come on the third and he may come on the fifth, But, God is good all the time, and he has the last say always.
We got a question from Blake on the front right.
Your teammates have mentioned multiple times just the doubters that have been fueling y'all throughout this playoff run. Just how much are y'all embracing that going into this game against the number 1 ranked team?
I mean, it's nothing new. Adversity is very familiar with us as far as like not having anyone root for us. As long as we all we got and we all we need. As long as we got God on our side and the ones who really rock with us, then we'll be just fine.
Let's go to the far left to Will.
Coach Wommack talked about Indiana's run game and how that's able to help their offense. Being in the interior position, how do you go about helping stop that and create opportunities on defense for your team?
Oh yeah, I gotta be on my A game. Got to make sure I'm grabbing blocks and just owning my gap, and not just kind of getting my gap, but owning it and reestablishing the line of scrimmage and just playing my game and having fun and doing what's needed to help the team.
We got a question from Johnny on the back right.
Coach Wommack was just telling us these Rose Bowls are more memorable if you win them. You've had an opportunity to play in this game before when you guys took on Michigan 2 years ago. I'm interested what you'll share with your teammates who haven't made that trip to play in that game and how you'd like to leave that field a victor.
Of course, for the ones that was here know what's going on, but this is a new team. It's a new year, new opportunity, so we got to go in and make sure we get the job done. Of course, the ones like D-Law and the people that was here under Coach Saban, they know, but yeah, and Ty, but this is a new year, new season to achieve what we want to achieve.
Any other questions for TK? All right, thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. We're joined by Jose Pierre. If we have questions, raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you. Go ahead, Joe, start us off right in the middle of the room.
Yonzi, Indiana's offense has only given up 8 turnovers all season long. What do you see when you put them on tape, and what do you think your opportunity, specifically you, is in taking the football away?
I mean, as we've been watching film, there's a good offense. I mean, they're a disciplined offense for sure. We just got to do our 111, you know what I'm saying? Stay to the course that we've been scratching all week.
Let's go to Will next on the left side. Go ahead, Will.
With the challenge of facing Fernando Mendoza at your specific position, what have you been working on and drilling so that you're able to get home to the quarterback in this game?
I mean, just working out, you know what I'm saying, plays that we've been putting in. I mean, just, you know what I'm saying, doing my 111 on the edge, setting the edge, staying at home, and, you know what I'm saying, doing that.
Let's go to Charlie on the far right.
Just how good is it to see LT back on the field, and what kind of boost does that give you guys all?
I mean, that's outstanding. I mean, what he went through or whatever, I mean, ups and downs. I mean, he's a good player, a dominant player on the other side of me. So that's amazing to have him back, most definitely.
Johnny, back right.
The Rose Bowl is one of the premier stages in all of sports. I'm just curious how excited you and your teammates who haven't played on that stage are to get to Southern California and get to play in that stadium.
Most definitely. I mean, most definitely looking forward to it. I mean, we just got to do our job and try to get the dub.
Any other questions for Yonze? I think we have one from Zoom. Let's go ahead and go to Colin next. Colin, go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Anze, when you talk about or prepare for a guy like Fernando Mendoza, a guy who has a lot of accolades and praise, like, is that something that you guys are like inspired or fired up to try and stop? Is that kind of what the conversation looks like in your room?
I mean, we're fired up every week to do our job, most definitely, as a defense. I mean, we're just trying to be disciplined as possible to, you know what I'm saying, stop him and stop the run, stop the pass, I mean, and shut him out for sure.
All right, we got a follow-up from Joe.
What have the older experienced teammates told you who were at the Rose Bowl prior? What have they told you about the 2023 trip, and what have the California teammates that you have told you about being out there?
I mean, I haven't heard too much. I went my freshman year, but as we see, we didn't win. I didn't play either, but going back out there, I mean, the guys from Cali are very excited. I mean, ready to do what we do, most definitely.
All right, let's finish up with another question from the Zoom. Let's go to Katie Wyndham. Go ahead, Katie.
Sticking with the Rose Bowl, your cousin Courtney Upshaw had a pretty famous play for Alabama in that stadium to win the national championship. Just what are your memories of watching that game and watching him make that play?
I mean, just seeing the dominance of it, most definitely. I mean, I'm here to make plays too, you know what I'm saying? We're going to try to do what we do, cousin. You know what I'm saying? We're going to stand out for sure.
All right, thanks, Yonze. Appreciate it. Keon Sabb. If we have questions, raise your hand. Go ahead, Joe, start us off, right in the middle of the room.
Keon, Indiana has only given up the football 8 times offensively. What do you see from your secondary position in Indiana's offense, the way they take care of the football, and what kind of opportunities do you see for yourself in taking the ball away?
Like every game, we feel like we have an opportunity to take the ball off those guys. They did a really good job taking care of the ball, so we'll just have to do our part, enforce it. We've been doing it in practice, focusing on getting the ball out, so we'll continue to do that.
Let's go to Will, far left.
Obviously, a different vantage point for this Rose Bowl than when you were at Michigan. What's your perspective right now, and especially just being able to play at this point in the year when obviously you weren't last year?
It's truly a blessing. You only get this opportunity once. It's hard to get to this point, so we're truly blessed to be here, and we'll take advantage. We worked to get here, so we feel like we should be here.
We have a question from the back room, Trevor.
You're going up against the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. How would you describe the challenge of facing Mendoza?
He's a really good player. Whether he won the Heisman or not, we're still going to go out there and play hard. Congrats to him for winning that, but we'll play our game.
Let's go to Charlie on the far right.
When the 2023 season's brought up in the Rose Bowl, is that a little awkward for you at all, being that you're on the other side with your teammates?
It's a little funny, to some of the guys, it gets a little, we jab and poke at each other about it sometimes, but just blessed to be here 2025 with another opportunity to go out there and play again.
Go to the far left, Hunter, go ahead.
Hey, Keon, physicality has been used a lot this week in practice. How much have you emphasized that to your teammates?
Just like the coaches have, I've emphasized it as well with the DBs. I feel like we go out there and play physical every opportunity that we get, so we're just emphasizing it in practice as well.
Let's go to Johnny on the back right.
Hey, Keon, I've been asking your teammates about the ones that have played in this game before in this stage. What makes Pasadena so special, and what's it like to win that game?
It's a great experience, very historical stadium and game. The atmosphere there is amazing. Like the mountains and stuff in the background, it kind of feels like a high school game when we played there at night before, so just feels good to be out there.
Okay, we got a question from right middle here.
Is there anything specific that you've been able to tell the team, the people that haven't played in the Rose Bowl? What have you told them about playing in the Rose Bowl, especially coming from someone who won it?
It's more so like there wasn't anything specific, but just telling them it's a big game for everybody else, but for us it's just the same thing. Another game, another opportunity to go out there and put good stuff on tape.
We've got a follow-up from Charlie.
Your cornerback room is a lot of guys from California. Just how much are they looking forward to it? Have they been talking about it a lot, the excitement?
Most things I heard about is tickets, just trying to get tickets for those guys. Like me, my family won't be, everybody won't be able to make it to this game, so, I'll give tickets to those guys as well.
All right, we're going to finish up on the Zoom. Colin Gay, you have a question? Go ahead, Colin.
Hey, Keon. I'm wondering, what specifically do you look for on film to, I guess, say, like, take advantage of opportunities to take the ball off of? Is it ball placement? Is it like opportunities to, step in front of routes? Like, what do you look for when you look at Indiana's offense?
We look for, honestly, us just doing our job. Coach is going to put us in positions with the game plan for us to make plays. He's did a really good job keeping the ball out of the defenders' hands. I feel like we have good players, and I feel like we can take the ball off them, especially like tackles and stuff like that, being able to punch on the ball with ball carriers.
All right, thanks, Keon.
Appreciate it.
by Xavier Brown. We'll start with Charlie on the far right.
You talked about it after the Oklahoma game. Just how successful were you at getting a lot of tickets for this game out in Cali?
Not too successful as I would like, but I got a good amount.
Let's go to Joe in the middle of the room.
Xavier, Indiana has only 8 turnovers this season. You're a guy who's had a lot of key takeaways for Alabama this season. What do you see in their offense's ability to take care of the football, and what do you think about your opportunities to take away the football?
Yeah, facing an opponent that does a great job of taking care of the ball really just puts kind of more stress on us reading our keys and trusting being able to pull the trigger and make plays when, that small margin of when they pop up, when opportunities pop up.
Go to Will on the left side.
A lot of hype around Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman and everything else that he's done this year in their offense. He's a guy that can make a lot of different throws, put the ball in a lot of places. What's the challenge of facing a quarterback that can do the things like he does?
Heisman winner, definitely the best quarterback we faced all year. Could put the ball anywhere on the field, and it just puts stress on us, just playing our game, getting pressure on them, playing complimentary, with our front and the back end, and just trusting what we see in the film room.
Jump over to the front right to Blake.
What have Jordan Edmonds and Zion Gibson kind of shown you, and what have they been like in their first couple of days in your room as early enrollees?
Shit, they're focused. They're locked in. I think they move around real well, especially for just getting here. But I think they look real good out there.
Go to Hunter on the back left.
Hey, Xavier, and Coach Wommack said when you were a freshman that you were as pro-ready as he's ever seen. What are your thoughts on him giving you your flowers, pardon the pun?
It's a blessing that he put me in this position. I'm grateful for it. Just seizing my opportunities and taking advantage when they come.
Let's go all the way in the back of the room to Trevor.
Xavier, it can't be easy to move across the country for college. So what does it mean to you to get that opportunity to play in front of more family and friends, get to play close to home?
Yeah, it really means the world to me, honestly. It's countless people who haven't got to see me play in person in, 2-3 years. So going back home in a Rose Bowl against the Heisman, it can't get any better than this.
Question from the middle of the room? You good? Okay, let's go back right to Johnny.
Coach DeBoer said a week or two ago that you have a good ability to take calculated risks when it comes to trying to jumping routes. I'm interested in that split second, how difficult it is to make the decision of whether you want to lay back or try to go for the ball.
It's a gut feeling, you kind of get maybe a little spidey sense or something like that, but it's really just trust, being able to pull the trigger. That's it.
Any other questions for Xavier? Let's follow up with Charlie.
Just sticking with the California theme, how much of your cornerback room, a lot of you guys being from out there, looking forward to being out there, how much are you guys talking about that?
I was just talking to Damani the other day, just kind of how, it's kind of similar for us not really understanding, what it's like for the guys from Bama to, play in games like against Auburn, Iron Bowl, stuff like that. How we got to get used to those type of things. It's for us, it's kind of the opposite. They might not know exactly what this means for us to go back and play at home in the Rose Bowl and stuff like that.